at the top of the show, we take you through our high five. That's the 5 biggest stories of the day right off the top. And let's hit it with number 5.
5.
Douglas all the way to the win. This time, she obliterates the world record.
So it isn't every week that we hit you off the top with some Olympic sport or swimming, but this is pretty crazy. Katie Douglas, an absolute absurd weekend at the Pan Pacific Championships. She broke the same individual world record twice in one day, helped set another world record, and nearly broke a third. That's absolutely crazy. So between 7:42 a.m. and 9:25 a.m. Pacific time, Katie Douglas, she won 2 gold medals and a silver, and she set world records. So her prelims for the 50 free, she swam a 23:49. That's a world record right there. And then an hour later, she went back for the finals for the 50 free and swam a 23:19. So that lowered her world record that she had just set by another 3/10. So, that's absolutely crazy. It might sound like, okay, well, she just swam a little bit faster, but like for back-to-back world records within hours of each other is just absolutely insane. She also swam the 4x100 meter medley relay. She anchored that for Team USA, and they set a world record of 3 minutes, 36 seconds in that one. So multiple world records set in one day by Katie Douglas. I'd have to go back and look. I'm sure Katie Ledecky was probably the last person to do anything of this sort, right? I don't even know if she set multiple in one day, but Katie Ledecky was the last, and still is, one of the great U.S. swimmers of all time. Kate Douglas, rather, is giving her a run for her money, and that sound credit of USA Swimming that you just heard. Let's go to our number 4.
4.
Strike one. Or you paint the inside part with 1/100. But 2 from Mizorowski. Ohtani flails and misses. Slider, fastball, slider to strike him out.
And that is one of the best matchups that we've seen all season. Mizorowski going up against Ohtani. The Brewers get the 4-1 win over the Dodgers. Brewers, they lead Major League Baseball with 76-48 record. But Mizorowski going up against Ohtani. So first came out firing fastballs, and Miz told reporters before the game that was his plan. He was going to just pepper Ohtani with the fastball. He threw 6 four-seamers in a row in their first matchup. First one at 103.7 miles an hour. The last one of that bat, 103.8. And had a 104.2 fastball mixed in there along the way. So struck Ohtani out the first time. That single at bat was Mizorowski's 5 fastest pitches on the day. And then he saw Ohtani a little bit later on. Brewers leading 4-1 in the 5th. And Ohtani's up, bases loaded for the go-ahead run. And what does Mizorowski do? Well, he hits him with a little curveball. Gets Ohtani striking out with a couple curveballs in that at-bat. Mizorowski, just unbelievable. The numbers, the velocity that he's able to throw this year. And striking out Ohtani. And then Freddie Freeman right after that with the bases loaded once again. Pretty impressive stuff from the Miz and the Brewers, who are now 4 games up on the Cubs. They were 3.5 yesterday with the Cubs beating the Cardinals on, Friday. We're back at 4 over the Cubs. We're going to hear something from this Cubs game in just a little bit in this high five. That sound from Mizorowski, though, and Ohtani, credit of Fox. Let's go to our number 3, and we'll hit the gridiron.
3.
Bridget technique so you don't get pushed back.
Adams threatened blitz. Oh! Jaxson Dart is smacked. Holy cow, Jay Ward.
That is credit of Fox 9 KMSP in Minneapolis. And I chose that sound because that is the wonderful, the fabulous Paul Allen on the call for the Vikings radio. He's unbelievable. I grew up in Minnesota, so I grew up listening to him. So maybe I'm a little biased and partial towards Paul Allen, but he has to be one of the best voices in the NFL in football right now. I love listening to Paul Allen, and it's even better when he's got an incredible call like this. Not incredible that Jaxson Dart ends up on his back, but Dart is just lit up there in the Giants preseason game by Vikings safety Jay Ward. Not necessarily his fault. It's not like he was holding on to the ball too long. Safety just, blitzed Jaxson Dart, and Tyrone Tracy misses his block there for the Vikings. And Jaxson Dart not only ends up on his back, but ends up in the medical tent. All right, fine. Not at Jaxson Dart's fault. He wasn't running crazy. He didn't, fail to slide or get out of bounds or anything like that. He just got hit pretty good. Why did the Giants bring him back? He's in the medical tent for a concussion, being evaluated. And maybe you're like, sure, well, he didn't have a concussion, so he's fine to play. This is the preseason. It's preseason game number 1. What more do you need to see from Jaxson Dart right now after he already makes a trip to the medical tent? Nonetheless, what do the Giants do? They do bring him back. He only missed 2 plays. So, I mean, the concussion protocol or concussion evaluation must have been pretty quick, and that they were able to rule that out. And maybe that's part of the reason he comes back so quickly. But he was cleared. He returned. He threw a 15-yard touchdown. Good for Jaxson Dart. Good for the Giants. But this kid needs to, and again, not his fault yesterday that his offensive line missed the block and he was pancaked, but 5 trips to the medical tent in 10 games last year for Jaxson Dart. We need to protect this guy at all costs. And I think the coaching staff for the Giants failed him a little bit yesterday by allowing him back in the game. I know you go into these preseason games with a game plan and, a number of snaps that you want your quarterback to take or series that you want them to be in on. But Jaxson Dart, we've seen, we had a season from him last year. We've seen what he can do. If your starting quarterback takes a trip to the medical tent in preseason number 1, might be a good idea not to put him back in the game. Just let him rest. Let's make sure everything is okay. If you need to see more in preseason game number 2, you've got that next week. Giants, not quite sure what's going on there, but thankfully Jaxson Dart is okay and was able to get back on the field, I guess. Let's go to not another rookie, a rookie here. Jaxson Dart, not a rookie. Let's go to number 2 here.
2.
This game, Mendoza, quick throw. Whoa! It's caught! Fernando Mendoza with his first Raider touchdown, and it goes to Jack.
That sound credit of Fox 5 in Las Vegas. And that is the number 1 overall pick, Fernando Mendoza, making his debut for the Las Vegas Raiders. Kirk Cousins started that game. Kirk Cousins led a touchdown drive. Fernando Mendoza comes in, and what does he do? Well, a little bit of the same. Mendoza was 10 of 16, 97 yards, and a touchdown. He finished with a passer rating of over 100, which is pretty good. Not too shabby. Also, one of the more impressive throws was just a laser between 3 defenders, completion of 19 yards. Truly a laser of a throw. So Fernando Mendoza already showing kind of what he can do at the NFL level, and then had a touchdown pass. A 79-yard touchdown drive. It included a 53-yard run. So it's not like Mendoza, threw a bomb downfield and hit his receiver in stride, although I think that's probably something we'll see throughout the season. But Mendoza, I think more than anything, just looked comfortable and poised. He did talk after the game that the speed, it was a little sped up for him in the beginning, but once he kind of settled down and settled in, looked really comfortable. He did not look like a rookie that was starting his first NFL game. I didn't think that the jitters were necessarily there like you sometimes see with some of these rookies. And if you had to ask me, Kirk Cousins, Clint Kubiak said that Cousins, it's still his job to lose, the starting job that is. But I think we see Fernando Mendoza sooner than later, even if, unless Kirk is just winning games and the Raiders are winning. I think we see Fernando Mendoza pretty early on in the season. I'm calling like week 4, week 5, Mendoza comes in. I know Max Crosby and some of those defensive starters were not playing for the Raiders this weekend, but that defense looked absolutely brutal. So as much as the offense can, as much as Kirk Cousins can win you games, and I say that kind of tongue in cheek, this Raiders defense is going to need to step up. They gave up 27 points to the Cardinals, and I mean, I believe the Cardinals scored in the first 4 drives of the game. Like, you're not going to win too many games when your defense is giving up that. Granted, again, Max Crosby, some of those starters not out on the field. It is preseason after all. This is the most impressive thing I saw this weekend, and maybe one of the most impressive things I've seen in quite some time. Let's hit number 1.
1.
Swing drive, well hit right. Suzuki back. It is gone. It is gone. It is gone. 3 homers for Baez. Major League history at Wrigley Field.
Absolutely insane. That call on Cardinals TV. Unbelievable stuff. Joshua Baez gets called up. He's making his major league debut at Wrigley Field yesterday against the Cubs. He steps into the batter box, top of the first pitch he sees. He sends that one 449 feet into the bleachers. Incredible, right? First pitch of your first major league at bat does not get much better than that, does it? Well, actually it does. If you go to the top of the 4th now, Baez steps to the batter's box again, sends a second homer to the bleachers, 382 feet. 2 at-bats, 2 home runs for Joshua Baez in his major league debut. We'll head to the 6th. He's back up at the plate. Joshua Baez, homers to right, 368 feet. 3 at-bats, 3 home runs in his major league debut. He had a ton of family in the crowd. They were going crazy. His teammates in the dugout going crazy. And those on his minor league team, I saw a video of them watching in their clubhouse, and they were going nuts for him. It's the first time ever in MLB history that a player in his debut has hit 3 home runs in his first 3 at-bats. The thing is, though, that Baez in the minors hit 4 home runs in 1 game already this season. So when he got to the plate, what was it? His next at bat, whenever that was, 7th, 8th, 9th inning, regardless, hit one pretty deep to left field. Again, didn't clear the fence, but got pretty good contact. So Baez, he's got a big frame, big body, power, clearly can hit, and hits 3 home runs in his first 3 at-bats, and also, like, in his very first swing in the majors, hits a home run. Absolutely incredible stuff. The Cardinals, they beat the Cubs 8-4. They play again this afternoon. Brewers and Dodgers also play again later today. And so the race for the NL Central, me being here based in Chicago, is one that I am keeping my eye out on. I know some of the other people on our show today, behind the scenes, Grant is as well. Cubs trying to catch the Brewers in the standings, 4 games back with about 39 or so, 38 games left in the regular season. The White Sox play the Tigers. That's another big divisional matchup in the AL Central. White Sox have a nice little cushiony 4.5 game lead in that division as well.